Welcome back. This is Elaine and Dennis, and we're doing waltz figures. The figure we'll look at now is called an impetus. It is a phase 3 round dance figure. The particular impetus I'm looking at is referred to as an open impetus or impetus to semi. All right? An impetus is a pivot type of figure. I can't describe it as much except to say, well, let's show it to you and we'll see how it goes. It does have what's called a heel turn in it, or a heel pivot for the man. So typically you're in closed position, you're stepping back, the man, the lady's stepping forward, much like you do with a spin turn. With a spin turn, let me just show you that a little closer. With a spin turn, I step back, I bring my foot around, I rise forward on my toe, rise, and recover back. All right? With an impetus, I don't step back, and I step back, but I don't rise up like this and pull it back. Instead, I'm stepping back, I bring my feet together. I transition my weight from one foot to the other as I do that heel turn. And then I step forward. Okay? I'm not doing this. I'm not going back, bring my heels together and pivot, and then stepping forward. The pivot I do while I'm transitioning the weight from one foot to the other. In this case, from my lead foot to my trailing foot. Back, pivot, forward. Again, as I'm doing the pivot, as I'm doing that heel pivot, the weight is going from this part of my body, from my trailing foot, lead foot, to my trailing foot. I'm literally moving my center of gravity from this part of me to this part as I'm pivoting around. It's not easy to do slow. So back, pivot around, and step forward. Now, for the ladies' part, what you're doing, you need to have a good lead with your hand. Good frame and a good hold on your partner. Because what you're going to do is, as you step back, as you pivot her around, her trailing foot has got to reach over here. She's got to get past you. That's why you want to bring your heels together, so you're not in her way. So you've got to pull her around, back, pull her around, and as you step forward, well, we went to closed position, but you get the idea. As you step forward, you want to bring your hand out like this in your body, so that you'll keep turning her. Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to step back, pivot, bring her around, step forward. As I step forward, I'm going to keep my body turning a little bit so I can go to semi. All right, let's get over here a little bit. All right, this is cued as an open impetus or impetus to semi. 1, pivot her around. 2, and we're ready to go with our trailing foot to step through into whatever figure comes to mind. Typically, a lot of times you'll just do a through face close, but you could do, again, figures that we haven't taught yet. There's many of them. So let's do it from this position. Okay? Line of dance is behind me. That's not to say we can't go in the other direction. But typically we go this way. I will do an impetus to semi, 1, 2, 3, and a through face close. Through face close. Okay? It does not have to end in semi-facing line of dance. I'm facing reverse. If you just end up to that diagonal, a little bit more than a quarter, just under a half, that's okay. It's very easy to adjust after that. All right? I'm starting in this direction. I'm going to step back, pivot around, go to semi, and step forward. 1, 2, 3. Now, if I need to face the wall, if that's line of dance, and Cuba wants me to face the wall, I'll just take a step through, face, close, and I adjust. I mean, after all, that's what a lot of dancing is. Moving to music and adjusting to the floor. Okay? But that's an impetus. It's out there a lot. You know, in almost everything at a phase 3 and 4 level and probably higher, various versions. Okay? So that's an impetus. One more time and then we'll do it to music. Impetus to semi. 1, 2, 3. Okay? And notice our body is going forward, so the next step will be down line. Now, there's also a figure called a pivot. There is a difference. There's no heel turn in a pivot. You're just pivoting around, much like a spin turn, but you keep going forward. There's no back motion toward reverse. So if I cued a pivot, it would be 1, 2, 3. You know, I don't bring my heels together. Okay? I would keep going around, pivot. Well, you only hear pivot 3, pivot 4, if you were doing a two-step or foxtrot. But you're not bringing your heels together with a typical pivot. So there is a subtle difference. Right? There's no reason why you can't pivot to semi. I might start in this position again, and you might hear the cue. Pivot to semi. 1, 2, 3. And we're off in semi. Okay? So there is that. But impetus is the more popular term and popular figure that we do at a phase 3 round dance and phase 4 as well. Okay? Let's do a little practice to music. A little different. Close position. 1, 2, 3. Ready? Box. Go. 1, 2, 3. Hover to semi. Maneuver. Impetus to semi. Through face close. Box. Let's do that again. Hover. Maneuver. Impetus semi. Through face close. Box. Hover. Maneuver. Spin turn. Box finish. 2 left turns. Hover, maneuver, spin turn, box finish, 2 left turns. Hover, maneuver, impetus semi, through face close, vine 3, through face close, whisk, haven't done that in a while, maneuver, spin turn, box finish, 2 left turns, whisk, maneuver, impetus semi, pick her up, 2 left turns, hover, through face close, box, hover, maneuver, impetus semi, through face close, box, hover, pick up sidecar, cross hovers, to semi, maneuver, Impetus semi, through face close, and slide apart. Nice. The impetus. It requires a little bit of practice to get used to. It's not a difficult phase 3 figure, but it's enjoyable once you get comfortable with it. Practice it, okay? This is Elaine and Dennis with the Shoe Leather Express in Gloversville, New York. Until next time.